I recently spoke to Fintan Mullan, and he talked about why they decided to stop at Minneapolis for the first time in quite some time.
Within folk in Minneapolis had actually been to one of our family history conferences back in Ireland, so that is quite often what happens. Somebody comes to our program and get to know us and see us in action over here, and then they help to set up a program in the USA or Canada. So it's great. Really
Mhm.
enjoyed it.
Well, this will be the first time that they've been to places like the Twin Cities since 2005 when he was with Dr. Brian Trainer. And you might say that trip was somewhat eventful.
We finished. And that was the famous year that we hit a deer, or as a gentleman pointed out, he says it's important for insurance to tell them that the deer hit you whenever you're reporting it. But on our way to Calgary, we crashed into a deer and it wrecked our car and we lost the day and had to reschedule. So it was an eventful trip.
And what can people expect when you come over in March?
We're only there a short period of time, so we try to share with the audience as much as we possibly can on a widest range of subjects as we possibly can, chosen by the organizers based on what they think will best serve the interests of their local community and local membership. And so we usually will start with something that's very broad, and then as the day progresses, we'll drill down into some more specific topics. So, and we try to make sure as well, because at a day event like that, you're not clear what level the audience expertise is at. Some people may be beginners, some people may be doing it for 40 years. So you're trying to cover a lot of territory. We also make sure is the other important thing, and a question you usually get asked. Is it only about Ulster? And it most certainly is not. First, many of the sources, of course, that we talk about are all Ireland anyway. If you take the census or Griffith valuation or the tithe books. But the other thing, we go out of our way to make sure that we draw opposite examples from across the island of Ireland, for right across not all the counties, but we try and ensure we get examples in as much as possible, because so much of what we were telling to people will be as useful for them researching ancestors in Cork as they would be researching them in Antrim. We've got quite an interesting itinerary already set up. So if people go to our homepage, they go to events and courses, they can go down to overseas lecture tours, or they can go directly there. And we have our forthcoming. And they can see all the previous tours that we've done. So you can see we've got a map there, and then we've got the itinerary below. So it's already quite well fleshed out. So we are speaking in Minneapolis, obviously, and also Green Bay with yourself, and Chicago with the Newberry Library, and also we hope back in Bolingbrook in just south of Chicago as well, with our friends librarians there. We're starting in Oakland with the California Genealogical Society. We're finishing in Dallas. We're also taking in Phoenix, Atlanta, and Pittsburgh, and we might be going back to Bentonville in Arkansas, the home of Walmart, which is a beautiful little town that we've been. Brian and I were there twice, and then Gillian and I have been there together once. So we have an excellent itinerary lined up already.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much full. I think there's and one other interesting feature that others may be, and I know Minneapolis is doing it, is that rather than having every single day will be presentation days on this tour, on a number of days, we'll actually be doing one-to-one personal consultations for folk. And I know we're doing that in Minneapolis. The program is on the Monday, and then the Wednesday is the half day of one-to-one consultations. And we did that. We've always done that, but we did it in our recent lecture tour down in Australia, New Zealand. In some locations, they're quite rural, so they wouldn't have been able to put a whole program on. So we did consultations, and we found that worked superbly well, because somebody maybe can't attend the day of the program. So if you're there 2 days, they can get a chance. Some people are shy and they don't want to ask a question in the audience, and the audience often do want to listen to somebody explaining in minute detail their family history research. So this is a great opportunity for them to speak with us to see if we can try and help them with their research queries. So we find those very enjoyable, very useful, fruitful for the foundation, and good for those who are taking part in it. If people go to the website, they'll be able to check that, and we'll be fleshing the detail out. But as I say, most of the dates are already in the diary, and we will, after the July holiday period, we will put up online booking forms for those, and the consultations are sold as a first come, first serve basis. So that's the way we do them. So, and the other thing, of course, people should expect is that we haven't been since 2023, so we will be completely updating our presentations. We are actually working on quite a number of wonderful new sources at the minute, from the mid 19th century, the late 19th century, early 20th century, and some stuff prior to 1800. And that is being added to the members area of our website, new guild member databases. But we have some really interesting examples of new slides that people will not have seen us use before. So we'll be talking, in a range of new sources that people may not have heard of but are accessible. So we look forward to doing that in the period ahead. We look forward to meeting new people and also having a chance to catch up with old friends again.
Again, the Minneapolis stop will be on the 11th and 12th of March of next year. But for more information on the other stops for next year's March lecture tour, contact the Ulster Historical Foundation at ulsterhistoricalfoundation.com.